Welcome back to Triple Alpha Sports Talk. I'm Josh. That's Bryce, and that's Roy over there. Pod 26. We appreciate the support. We had some good viewership on our last podcast and the NFL draft preview. We like that. This week as well, you will see this podcast. You will also see an NFL draft recap. So it'll be 2 videos this week as well.
We also are uploading once a week on the Triple Alpha's gaming channel now. We had some good views on that, so we'll try to upload once a week on there as well.
Yes, I will link the Triple Office Gaming YouTube channel. A lot of MLB The Show right now, but
we'll move over to COD and anything else that you guys want.
But yeah, and I'll put that in the description below. We're gonna rock it right into baseball first, okay? But before I do that, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Check the last podcast. 50% of our viewers were not subscribed, so we have new viewers, just not subscribed. So guess what? Hit that subscribe button and meet me in the comments section. Watch the whole draft, not a single comment. I was pretty upset. I was there the whole time waiting. Really upset.
Nobody talked about me picking Kool-Aid McKinstry to go to Dallas?
Nope. So hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, and then we'll start our pod right now. We're going to update our MLB draft standings, and this is, for us viewing it, it is our last day of the month. You guys will see May 1st when this comes out, and we can make some changes. So we're going to We're going to go over our standings right now, and we will obviously put in the stats for tonight for us, yesterday for you guys, and then we will update and make any changes right here live. So, in last place for right now, I guess we can't.
Am I in last?
I guess we can't do it tonight. It can change.
Why?
Because you guys are close.
Who cares? It's on the pod.
Okay, well then, last place at the moment is going to be Roy. He's going to have first selection of anything at 84 wins.
But his new team's wins won't go into the next month until
Correct.
tomorrow, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Second place, or I said 84 for Roy. Bryce is in the second, slightly ahead at 87, and I'm all the way up there at the top at 103. Had a good last 2 weeks, feeling good. So if we're going to make any changes, Roy, you are on the clock to make any changes. And
Please let me see that.
Yeah. There are you have it up, Roy. I can see it.
Yeah.
Is there any changes you would like to make?
Yeah, I have to get rid of the Marlins. I have to get them early and give me the Red Sox.
Okay, I think that is absolutely.
I had to get them
right
before
pick.
you guys.
And it's funny because you were high on the Marlins coming in, and we were both down on them. So you felt pretty good about that pick. Yeah.
Not very good now.
All right.
They are the second worst team in baseball.
You are on the clock. And you can make an adjustment.
Can I make more than one move right now?
You can only make one. It's one
the first one's going to drop the Astros.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the Yankees.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't blame you.
I like to take them. I wanted them, but I had to get rid. I thought one of you might take the Red Sox first, and I had to get rid of them.
I would have taken the Red Sox. That takes out the move I was going to make because I was going to take the Red Sox. I don't think I can change right now. I would have made 2 changes, and you guys both took the 2 teams. So I'm going to sit. I'm not going to make a move. I'm going to keep my teams. Everything's working right now, so I'm going to keep mine. So Bryce is back on the clock.
Who are all the – do we have the tier list?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
of right the people – okay.
Like the Yankees are gone, obviously. The Red Sox are gone. But you could the Marlins are available instead of the Red Sox over there.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Roy. I am going to make one more change. I want to drop the Angels, and I want to take the A's.
Okay.
I think that they're a little better than what I previously anticipated them to be. At least
they're
better than
not a little. They're a lot better than what I thought they'd ever be.
Their pitching's pretty solid right now.
I didn't spell that right, but that's okay. Yeah. Roy, you are back on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I'm debating between if I really want to do this or not. Shit. I am going to trade. Dang, I don't know if I want to do this. The Giants for the Brewers.
Wow. Okay.
The Giants haven't been doing as well as and then Snell just went on the DL.
Okay. And then in theory, Roy would be back up on the swing around. I just didn't do it because I didn't make any moves. But Roy, you're technically on the clock, and I'll go until we all pass.
I'm gonna. Damn it. I'm looking at
the teams available in Tier 1.
I got him. I got him right
Astros instead of the Yankees. Tier 2, Giant. Oh, you wouldn't take the Giants, but
I'm gonna stand pat with what I got.
Okay, Bryce, you are now on the clock. Would you like to make any more changes?
Let me look up a schedule real quick before I make a change.
I kind of wanted to take the Rangers out because they're just underperforming what I thought they do. But
yeah,
Blue Jays and Rays are starting to play divisional teams,
and they're coming back down to earth.
I think they're. I'm afraid to take them just because. Baltimore's good, and the way Boston's playing, I just don't. That's just tough. And you're gonna probably split a bunch of series, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay. I thought about taking the Twins over and then dropping my Padres, but the Twins have a very hard schedule coming up. As I just looked, they might not win a game.
I looked at theirs. Yeah, they play some. They're not playing in their division, so that's really gonna hurt them.
It's I looked, and even though they're playing really well, the reason I took the Phillies as my second one on the wraparound last time is because they had a super easy schedule, so I'm not surprised they're playing well. But if you would have dropped the Rangers, I probably would have flipped the Phillies for the Rangers, but you didn't. So I'm going to stand pat. And so that's going to do it. So my team's going to look the exact same as it's up there above. Braves, Phillies, Mariners, Reds, Guardians, Nationals. Bryce's team will go Orioles, Yankees, Cubs, Padres, Royals, A's. And then Roy's team will go Dodgers, Rangers, Brewers, Tigers, Red Sox, Pirates. And that will start for today, as you guys will see this.
Those Pirates are going to start killing me. They're not playing they're starting to come back down.
The only problem is that outside of the Red Sox, who you switch with the Marlins, and Bryce took the A's, so it's the Angels instead of the A's. There just isn't a whole lot.
Yeah, no, you look at that third tier, White Sox, Rockies are. You're talking about two of the worst teams, along with the Marlins, the top three worst teams in baseball, right there.
Yeah,
you can take the A's back.
No,
Angels.
You could take the Angels instead of the Pirates.
I know.
He's off the clock.
I'm gonna ride with the Pirates.
So that we will revisit this next month, or we do it every podcast, but trade wise, we will revisit this next month. And so that would take us into our MLB standings.
All right, in the American League in the East, we have Baltimore in the lead with 18, while Yankees also are at 19 and 11, and then Boston, Toronto, and Tampa. The Central, we have Cleveland Guardians in the lead with 19 and 9, and then Detroit, Kansas, Minnesota, and Chicago White Sox, worst team in baseball.
By far.
West, we have Seattle, Texas, Oakland, Los Angeles Angels, and the Houston Astros, probably the second worst team in baseball right now.
No.
National League, we have the Braves leading it off in the East at 19 and 8, followed by the Phillies, New York Mets, Washington Nationals, Miami Marlins. The Central, we have the Chicago Cubs leading the Central now at 18 and 11, followed by the Brewers, Reds, Pirates, and Cardinals at the bottom. We have in the West, Los Angeles Dodgers leading at 19 and 12, followed by the Giants, Padres, Diamondbacks, and Rockies.
Okay, I'll start with you, Bryce. When you look at these standings, what's the first thing you notice?
You got to talk about the Cubs being on top of the Central now.
Oh,
like I told you, the Brewers and the Pirates started off way too hot. Their bats were what was carrying them, and their bats aren't that good. Told you guys that they were going to fizzle out. And then, to me, the other thing that's really jumping out lately is the A's. The A's at 13 and 17, I could not have told you that they were going to be third in their division right now. At the beginning of the season, I think we all had them at last, and maybe the worst team in the baseball, tied with the White Sox.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they were giving the Yankees a good series, so
yeah.
That's the most surprising team to me.
When I look at the Athletics and you look at their run differential, they're negative 39 in their run differential, and they're 13 and 17, and everything that they've done is gone according to their script, except for one thing. When they have a lead late in the game, less than 3 runs, they're bringing out, at the moment, the best closer in baseball, Mason Miller, and he has been unhittable. I mean, just flat out, nobody can hit his baseballs. And that tells me they're stealing wins, very small leads, and they're just not giving them up when he comes in.
Oh yeah, their pitching is unbelievable. That's what they're riding and high on that pitching. That pitching staff, that starting pitching staff, is really good. And they calmed the Yankees' bats. That's what they did.
Yeah.
And if they can, like you said, if they can get just a 1-run lead into going into late in the game, Miller's coming in and it's done. It's over with.
Yeah, I agree.
Their bats, they don't hit a lot of home runs. I saw. I mean, they hit some solo shots against the Yankees, but they manufacture them. Base hits here, doubles here. And that's how you win ball games. Everybody else is trying to hit home runs, and they're finally just doing what old baseball used to be. Just move the runner over and get some runs.
Yeah, I mean, Josh was asking me earlier if there was one reliever I could go out and get as a Cubs fan, and it's Mason Miller. I mean, every team's got to feel the same way.
I was going to say,
he might be on the mark. Don't be if you
I
gave
don't think so.
With the A's owner, he might be on the market.
I would not put it past them giving up anybody to get him out of there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Is anyone available? Yes, they are available. There's no way they're going to trade the best closer in baseball at the moment, who's got 6 years of control left. You know what I mean? It's not like he's started the clock already. This is first year. So, I mean, they could, have him pitch 2 more years when these games don't mean anything before they go to Vegas. And that could be their shiny new tool in Vegas when they start, I don't think they're going to spend money once they get to Vegas, but you never know. I mean, they haven't spent money our entire lives, so.
The same way, he's a guy that, I know he's young and he's got a lot of years, but he's a guy that if you gave enough up, the A's have not been have been willing to give up anybody over the years.
True. I think anyone in baseball has a price tag. I mean, I think there's a list of maybe 10 people you wouldn't trade no matter what. After that, anyone has a price tag. It'd just be through the roof.
I mean, each team has a couple players that they would never get rid of. I just think with the A's, they're willing to give up anybody. They don't give a crap.
No, I agree.
At any time. So,
Roy, when you look at the standings, what's the first thing you notice?
The A's are one of them. I mean, look at the Central, NL Central, and this. I mean, Cubs on top. The Reds are starting to get hotter, and they're starting to move up that ladder.
Yeah.
Pirates are,
had a great few games.
Yeah, I mean that Dela Cruz is freaking amazing. What do you throw 106 mile an hour ball and the kid not nail something? I mean, he's just. I mean, their players their young players are starting to get better. The Cardinals are a team that I just can't. I can't understand what they're going on with them. They're just inconsistent so bad.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Pirates, this is what they do every year. They go up, they go down. I mean, that's what they do. They stay hot and they go down. That division, and then I mean, again, I'm surprised by how good the Guardians are. I mean, they just freaking just continue to win. I mean, they're not, and I just feel like they've had not a tough schedule too, and they still win. So that team, and then the AL East. I mean, the AL East is just. I don't know how every year that division just gets harder and harder, and I don't understand how these teams just pound on each other all the time.
I mean, I agree with you. The thing that I notice is all the teams that we expected to be up there, maybe outside of the Houston Astros, are starting to play much better baseball. You look at the Dodgers. We talked a week ago. They were kind of sitting around that 500 mark. I mean, they're 7-3 in their last. They're on a what do you call it? One game win streak. I think they won a few and then lost. I mean, they're 19-12. You go look at the NL East. Outside of Atlanta, they were kind of struggling a little bit. And same thing with Philly. They've knocked their way up all the way up to 19 wins each of them. Seattle's starting to play well. They're starting. Their pitching is what is supposed to carry them in the first month. They couldn't pitch at all. They kept giving up 5, 6, 7 runs. They just can't. They can't score that much. Their pitching has calmed down. That's why they're starting to win some games. And you look at the AL East, the Yankees and the Orioles, kind of not making room, but they already have a 2.5 game lead over the next team. Boston's coming down to earth a little, so I just think you're starting to shape up. See the good teams take advantage of the bad teams when they're playing them.
Each division starting to find who the teams are that are competing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what like we always say, you can't win a division in April, but you can lose a division in April.
Exactly.
If you get off to a really bad start. But I mean, getting into May, starting to get hotter. It's going to start getting runs are going to start picking up. Teams are going to start hitting the ball better, and that you're going to start seeing. I mean, like you said, Atlanta and Philly are going to separate themselves there in the East.
Yeah, I agree.
So the Central, NL Central will be the weird one. Who comes out of those teams?
Yeah, because I look at the Cubs, and the Cubs are playing good, and they have that lead. But I mean, you look at the last place team; it's 4.5 back in St. Louis. I mean, you do a 3-game series, and it's a sweep. I mean, it's a tie. It's a tie division, and with Chicago, when I look at the Cubs, I mean, their injuries are starting to pile up. Yes, they're surviving right now, but is it sustainable? As long as I know Bryce doesn't think Belly's going to be out. Belly's going to be out for a little bit. I mean, fractured thing with his rib.
It could be good for Belly, though. He was batting like 180.
Yeah, and it could be a blessing in disguise. You get Pete Crow Armstrong up,
Pete Crow's getting time. Canario's getting time. Matt Mervis is getting time.
But the Belly injury,
the second best farm league in the team, and we're getting all those guys to play now.
But when, the
Bellinger injury is the bad one because, that's a fractured rib is, you're swinging, and as hard as he swings and the way he swings, that's going to bother him for a while.
Yeah.
So that's
he's going to have to wait it out to be healthy. And all those young players are great, and especially when they come up, if they can catch fire, it can really spark a clubhouse. But when those young kids always struggle when they come up. It's usually how it works. You look at Jackson Holiday. What happens when they hit a few of those rough spots? A sweep here or there that you don't think is going to get swept. You start to doubt yourself. So we'll see. I still think the Cubs are clearly the best team in the division at the moment, but the injuries do scare me a little bit. That's going to take us into the Players of the Week. We'll go over to the NL side, and just like last week, it's another Philly. This time it's Alec Bohm of the Philadelphia Phillies. 27-year-old hit .567, 17 for 30 with a home run, 8 RBIs, 8 doubles, 1 walk, 6 runs scored, slugging .933, and an on-base percentage .581 in 7 games. When I look at the Phillies, it's players like this that can take them to the next level. They have Schwarber, they have Harper, they have Turner. You start to get production from players that have Alec Bohm been a good player, but maybe not a superstar. If he continues to build like this, it makes that lineup even more scarier with a rotation of Nolan Wheeler at the top.
Oh yeah, Phillies. They have a lot of veteran players, and that can play. They've got guys that can play, and they're still young, and they can play. They just when they catch hot, they got several team players who can carry that team. And if they can get some pitching at the top, that team's just as dangerous. We saw whether it's 2 years ago they made the World Series or whatever. Yeah. And they can get hot at the right time. They're that good of a group and a great stadium. So yeah, Phillies are a good team.
Yeah, you guys hit it right on the nose. Phillies they're one of my favorite teams in the league to watch. They have so many players they're just really likable players, and they don't even play like a normal style of baseball that some of the other teams play. Their leadoff hitter is a 5'3" guy that only hits home runs and isn't that fast. So Kyle Schwarber. It's unconventional, but it's fun to watch and it works. So
that takes us over to the AL where we have a former Cub and a current Yankee. Anthony Rizzo wins AL Player of the Week. 34-year-old hits .407, 11 for 27, 4 homers, 7 RBIs, 2 doubles, a walk, 8 runs scored, slugged .926 in 7 games last week. They really just came from his weekend in Milwaukee where he saw the power surge come back. It's good to see. I know Roy will understand it more than Bryce will. His power numbers, especially at Yankee Stadium, they're just falling off a cliff. He still can hit the ball at contact, but good to see the power come back, even if it was in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he's been a disappointment up to the Milwaukee series, in my opinion. His his power has been lacking. Yeah, he got hot in Milwaukee and got some home runs, but he is still somewhat of a contact hitter. It's just he's not hitting the ball hard. That's his problem. Yeah. He's batting .240, and he was just not hitting the ball hard. Everything was a little looper here, looper there, soft ground ball. And he hasn't been doing big moment hits, which is what he used to be, and that's been the disappointment. And his glove at first base has really disappointed me. Just he used to be just amazing, and nothing got by him. And there's been plays that he's missed that I can't believe that he'd missed. So, but good for him. We needed him in Milwaukee because that sure to hell we struggled. But the Yankees, Anthony Rizzo, finally, hopefully that continues. It didn't continue last night, but hopefully it continues as we come into the warmer weather.
Yeah, as a Cubs fan, I love Rizzo. To me, he's one of your guys' keys. When you get into a playoff series, Judge and Soto have to play good. They're your stars. They carry your team. These are the type of guys that can win you a series by getting hot, though. Rizzo, Stanton, one of those guys gets hot and hits 4 home runs in a series. That can carry you through a playoff win. Yeah. And it does suck to see him getting worse. He won the Cubs World Series in 2016. But speaking of Rizzo, I did see something today that 4 years ago today, he struck out Freddie Freeman on the Braves. So
I remember that.
That was cool.
Yeah, I do remember that.
info.
I don't have anything else for the players of the week. I think that's just going to take us right into our talking points. And Roy's up first. So Roy, hit us with what you got.
Well, I got two things. One, God damn, how good is Gunnar Henderson for freaking Orioles? That's my first one. Fucking pisses me off. That kid is young and good. I mean, what is the deal? Like you said, I think it was last week. You said they just keep having young kids that come up and they just start. It's just, I don't get it.
I mean, this Cowser guy's came out of nowhere and he's playing great.
I mean, we say they came out of nowhere. At the end of the day, these are. I mean, you might not know because you weren't deep into the These were top prospects coming out. They just started slow.
We've been hearing about them, and I mean, like last night, the first inning, Gunnar Henderson. I mean, just hits a home run. He's freaking good. It pisses me off that they continue to get younger and they just continue to be better. The other thing Go ahead.
I want to talk about it a little bit. I don't know if you have much knowledge of how good Gunnar Henderson's been this year or not.
Yeah, I've been watching.
You can talk about it however you want.
I mean, he's just like everybody else on their team. They're all young studs who are just unbelievable. I mean, I don't have stats in front of me, but
I think they just feed off each other because
I know.
You can tell they all came up together. They all played together. They're all in AA. They're all in.
They've been playing on the same team since high school, basically.
Yeah, once they got out of high school or college for a few of them. And Adley might have taken a little bit of a fast track. He kind of skipped through a little bit, being the number one pick. But, God, all the other ones. Because, I remember Gunnar Henderson coming out like 2 years ago. He could mash righties, but he couldn't touch a lefty if they were on the mound. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's hitting over 300 against lefties this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
he made great adjustments.
And you talk about Jackson Holliday. He's the number one pick, and he's a shortstop. Sorry, Jackson, you're going to second because we have a superstar. He is going to be a superstar in this league for years to come. It sucks, but yeah, I mean, he is as good of a hitter, especially from the left side. And the NL East, Yankees, Boston, even though they have that pesky pole down there in the corner, he's going to hit a lot of home runs. He's young. He plays good defense. He's going to be around for a long time. It sucks.
What about the Orioles is that stadium. I mean, they changed that stadium because the Yankees were hitting 22 home runs against them.
Yeah.
And their prospects are all lefties.
Yeah. And
Cowser, Holiday, Gunnar, all lefties. Adley, switch hitter, lefty. Lefties have a much bigger advantage with that short wall that's tall. I mean, you have a righty. As Waldo Cabrera ties the game last night with that swing to left field.
Oh, yeah. That's a home run.
15 feet short.
Yeah,
now.
I mean they changed that. Joe Girardi said last night during the game. I mean he was so surprised about how different that stadium is now than it was when 5 years ago, and it's because the Yankees hit a ton of home runs. But that's just a comment I wanted to say about the other one thing I wanted to talk about. Man, Giancarlo Stanton, what the hell? Can you not fucking run anymore? I mean, you should have been thrown at home plate out of what series that was a while ago. And then last night, a nice base hit by Wells, who's been the most unlucky catcher ever.
He has, statistically, right now, he's the most unlucky hitter in baseball. Yes.
Yeah. And then he hits a nice rope to right field for a base hit, and then Stan ggets thrown out second in inning. I mean, that's just what the hell is. I mean, he runs so stiff. When he was the MVP of the NL the other day, several years back. For the Marlins, he won. I mean, he could run. He could hit home runs. He was athletic. He's just become Mr. Statue who can't run. Even his swing is so tight and stiff. He's just not the player he used to be.
Yeah, we watched it. I mean, it's bad base running IQ. Even like not even just slow. The guy is watching the ball hit the ground and then takes off to first and then turns around and takes off to second. I mean, it's pretty bad to watch. Like the guy looks like he should be in a nursing home or something at this point, but he looks juiced on steroids as well at the same time. So,
well, he's lost weight. That's the bad thing.
He's lost weight, and you can tell he's lost weight if you've seen Stanton the last few years. Yeah, to me, the way that I see it, and I think I've heard Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, talk about it a little bit. He is preventing injuries. He is not. And maybe if this is Game 5 of World Series, he might run just a tad harder. Yes, I do believe that. But he is not busting it. He's had those soft tissue hamstring injuries that's kept him on the IL for months. He's just not gonna go for it at the moment.
Yeah,
I mean, he's there to hit home runs, hit doubles. He's not there to base runners, steal bases.
But we need. He's not doing that. That's the problem, and we need him to do that. It's just he's a hole in the lineup to me. He has been for several years. He's had some hits this year. He's been better, but but
Yeah, he's definitely been better this year than the last few, I would say.
But he's gone in big moments. That's been his problem. He's still gone in big moments.
Yeah, I think they would never do this. I think he really should stick to hitting left-handed pitching, because he does hit left-handed pitching for the most part pretty well. It's the righties with that little sweeping sliders. I mean, he can't hit it. Well,
he can't go. He can't go anything low. If there's anything low, he can't bend down to get it.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. You good, Roy?
Nope. Go ahead.
That's just going to take me into mine. I only have one, and I had to update this a little bit from last night because they won. The Angels are 11-18 to start the year. They're 2-8 in their last 10. Before last night, they were 1-9. At this point, after losing Shohei Ohtani, is it time to talk about trading Mike Trout? Now, yes, he's been there forever. I get it. He's the best player in the franchise's history. But at what point do you have to just accept the fact that you're not going to win in his time frame? And is it time to trade him, or is he too big of a piece? It's just an untradeable piece. I'll start with you, Bryce. What do you think?
They're not going to trade him. I mean, he's been the only thing, besides Shohei, that the A's have had, or Angels have had going for them, and I don't even know how long. Albert Pujols went there and ruined his career as well. I mean,
yep.
The town needs somebody, some star there to keep fans in there, because the team is so bad that nobody's going to watch it. They're going to watch the star there. There's no way that they can get rid of that player that they have. I mean, he's a generational player who might be a top 5 baseball player of all time.
Yeah.
And he's never won anything there.
Okay, you talk about, they need something to watch there that's why you wouldn't trade him. What if you can get a generational haul for him? I mean, he is having an MVP caliber season, not saying he would win. What kind of haul could you get for someone like – you look at the Mookie Betts trade. Yes, it didn't work. But they got Alex Verdugo, who was an MLB-ready player, and then at the time, high prospects. They just didn't turn out. So, I mean, you could roll that into your side, Roy. I don't know if Bryce has anything to add.
No, they need to trade him. They should trade that. They need to move on. This is a situation where what's best for Mike Trout as well. I mean, the organization's not doing anything to help him. They've tried. I'm not knocking the Angels. They've tried. They've went out and signed big names. I mean, the Rendon and all kind of people, and it's just not worked. It's just not worked. Albert Pujols. It's just happened for some reason. I mean, they're for a little while. They got 2 of the best pitchers, starting pitchers that were free agents. I think 6 or 7 years ago, and they turned out to be nothing. I mean, they've just not been lucky. They've been unlucky with their hits, and just you do have a generational player in Mike Trout, and he's having a great year. This is the time to move on. I know Mike Trout said he's not leaving until they finish something, but you know what? He's just doing that to please the fans. I think. I think he's unhappy. He's still going to play. I mean, he's going to play hard. He's going to play great, just because he's that damn good. But it's time to move him on to a different team and get a haul. I mean, what's the difference of you signing players to help him out and them not working out, or going to get some, like you said, a big haul prospects that will help you out and hopefully help you out in the future and make you better. That's the only way you can do it now. And they're not the Dodgers. That's just what it is. They don't have the money. Let's just move on. Trade him to a team that needs him and move on.
See, I don't disagree with what Roy said. I just don't think that they will do it.
Oh, that's not what I asked. I just meant should they. I mean, we can't control if they should or not.
Yeah.
No,
I think they will. I think they will eventually. It may not be this year.
If they don't do it this year, they might miss with their window, though. I mean,
I think they're going to have to. I think that, because the question, a couple of years ago when they first got Ohtani, they were talking about, hey, should they get rid of Trout? Should they get rid of him because they're not winning? And now the questions just keep coming. Hey, are you going to trade him? Are you going to? And I think it's getting leaked. I think they're thinking about it, because I think the Angels have realized we just can't win with him. They're just as much as we try, but we just can't win with him. And I think they care about Mike Trout because they got him, they've grown him up, and I think they would just move him on and try to start from scratch. That's what they got to do.
Yeah, I agree with you, Roy. And if you said you just don't think they will, but you think they should, I think they should too. I mean, and you nailed it, Roy. What I was going to say is what you ended up saying is they owe it to Mike Trout at this point to send him somewhere. He is from Philly. I'm not saying he would get traded to the Phillies. I'm just going to use as an example. You send him to his hometown to the Phillies, who are definitely competing right now. Now, I don't know if they could afford the prospects or whatever, but he deserves it, what he's done in that town. And like you said, they've tried. I'm not knocking the Angels. Yeah. They've tried. They've just missed. But at what point, when you look at the Shohei situation, people talked about the last 2 or 3 years, they should move Shohei if he's not going to stay.
Yeah.
And the writing was on the wall the whole last year. He was not coming back. They offered him the same deal that the Dodgers offered him. He just took the Dodgers. No shit. I mean, this team is not close, and they should capitalize this year now. I'm not saying they will, on how good he's been. Because Mike Trout has had an injury history. He's missed a lot of time the last 3 or 4 years. What happens in 2 years from now when he's back to being hurt with a broken, arm? I don't know, something. And he can't play. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure you'd still get a haul, but would you get the haul you could get right now or, at the deadline of this year? I mean, they are not going to be competitive in his window. I mean, Mike Trout's, 33, 34 in that range? I don't know the exact age. He's got to be right in that range. 32? Because I don't –
32.
32. There is no way the Angels are going to compete for a World Series in the next 2 years. That puts them at 34 years old. At that point, you're probably DHing them a few times more than normal. I just think it's time. I mean, just think of the haul you could get. You would definitely I would resemble it to the Juan Soto package that Washington got. That Washington got a pitching prospect and a batting prospect who was ready for the majors. And then they got 2 really good low-depth minors. That's 4 players. The Angels need help everywhere. I don't see the reasoning after everything that went on with Shohei. Like, you watched it play out with Shohei, and they got nothing in return for Shohei Ohtani. Imagine the return you could have got from him from the Dodgers. I'm sure the Dodgers would have been open to a trade.
Oh, yeah.
So
here's my question for you. So, I know you're a Cub fan. You're a Yankee fan. I'm a Yankee fan. So, would you give up your top 4 prospects or 5 tops? Let's just go top 5 prospects. I don't know Cubs prospects.
Cubs have the second farm league in the
I'm talking I know for Josh, you're talking Dominguez.
Well,
you're talking.
We don't need an outfielder in that regard. Like, if we're going to say,
you don't. No, you wouldn't trade him. You wouldn't trade anybody like that to go get Trout.
Because I don't think our window is this year. Like, I know they're kind of all in with Soto on a 1-year deal. I am not worried about Soto leaving. I'm not saying I would be against it if we, needed a center fielder and that's the only piece we were missing. I'm not saying I'd be against it. It's just in the Yankees, and I agree in the Cubs, they don't need it either. I look at a team maybe like, I don't know. I'd have to really deep dive and look at prospects to know.
The problem is the team that probably would need him and have the prospects is the Orioles, and that's
I was just about to say that.
The scary part.
I imagine the Orioles.
I would never trade the Yankee. I like Mike Trout. I think he's a great player. I don't think he fits what any of these top teams really need. I mean, he's a great player. He could add a bat, but for the Yankees, he wouldn't fit in right there. I don't think. I mean,
what about the Dodgers?
I mean, the team that I
would be good for him.
I don't know if the Dodgers. I mean,
I see the Orioles.
Jason Hayward in the outfield starting. So.
I mean, not right now.
Yeah,
he's hurt. I mean,
I can see the Dodgers. I can see Boston trying for him.
Yeah, but Boston doesn't have a window in the next year or two, probably.
No, but you know
what? A team that I would look at would be someone like the Phillies. I mean, they have Brandon Marsh out there in left field. I don't know who's playing center right now for them. I think like a Rojas or something. But you think about the Phillies. I mean, who are their stars? Harper, a little bit older. Schwarber, a little bit older. Turner, pretty young, but definitely on the older half of a young player. I mean, you look at him. Yeah, I mean, you look at Mike Trout going home to Philly. I don't know if they could afford him. I don't know their prospect situation. And you go, Schwarber leading off, 2-hole Mike Trout, 3-hole Bryce Harper, 4-hole Trey Turner. You can mix that up however you want. And you have Wheeler and Nola, who are just a tad older. See, that fits their window, in my opinion. A little bit more of the older players around that 30, where they could use an outfielder, Mike Trout. And they've shown they're not afraid to throw Kyle Schwarber in left field, and they could DH him throughout the season if they needed to.
I agree. And I think, but you got teams maybe like Toronto that would try for something like that because they think they're about 1 or 2 pieces.
Yeah,
away.
no, I disagree, but I understand because Toronto does act like that.
But I can see the Giants or somebody like that, who were trying to get, Ohtani or somebody.
Yeah.
There's teams out there, a few teams that would try to do that. Just to make that happen.
And another team, and I won't use this as a this year trade, but I'm talking maybe in a year from now or something. You talk about the Cincinnati Reds. They don't have that star-studded center outfielder. They have a couple good players.
Yeah.
You talk about the Reds in a year from now. Let's say they, win the division this year and then fall short in the playoffs, as an example. And they go out next year and they start the season blazing. And they're missing that thumper in the middle of the lineup. You talk about Mike Trout. I'm just, these are just hypothetical scenarios.
Well, you could even talk about like Seattle trying to get somebody like that. Maybe not center fielder. He's not. They got Julio, but
he's on the left.
Yeah, you move. I think he's at the age where you could move him to right or left. Is where he's not a center fielder. He's still pretty good, but he's not. So that was a question because I wanted to see what your thoughts. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's Mike Trout. We got to have him. But he won't. If he's not going to make your team any better, he will.
He's just going to cost so much. It has to be the right situation. Now, if you were to say the Yankees didn't have Juan Soto, and obviously they have the players that they sent from to San Diego, would I send the trade that got Juan Soto to the Angels for Mike Trout if we didn't have? Yes.
Oh, in a heartbeat. But I'm going to tell you, if we don't have Juan Soto this time next year, I'm going to punch you in the face because I'm going to be pissed.
We're going to be in trouble. If the Yankees do not have Juan Soto next year, they will enter a rebuild.
Yeah.
They better not do that.
They probably will.
No, he's going to hit free agency. I'm not worried about that. He's going to hit it.
I really don't think. I think they're in negotiations already, which is different for Brian Cashman. And I think he's willing to sign because according to what his agent said, and I think he's willing to.
His agent will not let him sign. He won't.
I thought if they said they came up with the right number, they would. If it came up with the right number.
Well, Soto said if they came up with the right number, he would sign. Let's say Juan Soto's market is in the 500 to 600 million. I'm just using that as a number.
It's six.
Okay. Scott Boras will go to the Yankees and he say, "We will sign the contract for 800 million today." They cannot do that. They just can't. The Yankees would never do it. So they're going to go, okay, well, then obviously we're not on the same number. Scott Boras he's told Juan Soto, do not sign contract. He's the one that told him not to sign the contract in Washington at the time was 4 years ago for 480. I mean, that had never been heard of. And he said no.
He's getting old. Boras is getting old and causing a lot of problems for himself right now. So hopefully.
Soto will be one of those players that don't sign for a while. I guarantee you.
It's going to be 12. It's going to be 12 years, 650 million or something like that.
Yeah,
something
I agree.
Fucking ridiculous.
Which I can't wait for.
I can't either.
Okay.
It's not my money, so
yeah. That's going to take us into Bryce's talking point this week. Bryce, what do you got?
I wanted to hear you guys' opinions on the best division in the MLB right now.
Okay.
Josh, you can go first.
I don't think it's a doubt. I think it's the AL East. I don't even think it's close. But I will say, even though the record is not showing it, I do think the NL West is a very good division. I think the Padres, I look at them at 14 and 18. I view them as a better team than that. I just don't think they're playing very well. They have a horrible coach and a former Cardinal coach, Mike Trout, so I can't blame them for losing. Arizona's in the World Series last year. They're 13 and 17, but their whole pitching staff's been hurt for the most part. But I do think it's the American League East. The way I look at the East, I view the Orioles as the best team in the division. I have since the beginning. I view the Yankees as a very good two who can beat anyone on any given day. Boston is the team that shocked people. I didn't have Boston very high, but their pitching staff has been incredible. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter how much they score, but their pitching staff's been incredible, and Tyler O'Neill's been one of the hottest hitters to start the year. I think he slowed down a little bit. Toronto at 15 and 15, that is exactly what I kind of see them as, that 500 team. And Tampa, I actually don't think Tampa's as good as their record shows. I think Tampa definitely is having their down year, but they have 4 of their pitchers on the IL. They don't have McClanahan. They don't have, I can't think of their Rasmussen. They don't have a lot of their pitchers that should be there. So they're just having a down year, and it's understandable. And most people predicted it, but I think the AL East is.
Roy?
Oh, I agree. I think it's hands down AL East. That division, Boston and Yankees own that division forever. And then Tampa got better and they stuck in there. Baltimore now they were the bottom dwellers for forever. And then then they figured out how to, draft, develop their players, not trade them off, and do the things they needed to do. And that's what they've done. And because everybody in that division in Toronto decided, you know what, we're going to have to spend some money to compete with these guys. And that's what everybody's done. They've decided, you know what, the Yankees and Boston were here. And they're like, we got to find a way to get that up there. And they have. And that's what's been, then that division is they just beat the hell out of each other. Luckily, we don't play each other 19 times like we used to,
agree.
Which was brutal, playing each other 19 times. And now we only play each other 12, so 10 to 12 times. So it's
you
better.
only have 4 series against them.
Yeah, so it's not as bad. I agree. I think the NL West is better than what they're showing. I think the NL Central is not that bad. Like I said, there's only 4 games between them. Brewers have surprised me with how they're doing, but I really think Cincinnati's on their way up. I think Chicago's up there. Pittsburgh's on their way down, but that division is there. I mean, talent wise, they don't have that one superstar team like the Dodgers are in the NL West. The Atlanta and Phillies are in the East. I mean, they don't have that. They have just a group of players that like you said, one 3-game sweep of a series will change the standings of that division.
I agree.
I'm in agreement with you guys. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to see that the AL East is the best team in the league from top to bottom, probably of the league. So I don't agree with Roy that the NL Central is a good division, though. I think here in a month or two, you're going to see it really fizzle out, and we're going to see this get very separated with the Cubs and the Reds going up and the other teams dropping pretty low, because I don't think that the other 3 teams are very good. They just played some bad teams and had a good month.
I think what you're going to see is there's the NL. I think the NL has a lot more terrible teams.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Mets are not very good. Yeah. The Mets are terrible. I think the Marlins are terrible now. The Rockies are bad. I think the Nationals aren't that good. They were hot early, but they're not. Pittsburgh's starting to come down to their way. That you're running into where the bad teams are starting to show that bad.
Yeah.
That in the AL, it's just the White Sox. I mean, the Astros aren't bad. Their bullpen just flat out is horrible,
which is crazy because all of us agreed that was the best bullpen coming into baseball. We're not.
Yeah, I thought
it's incredible.
I mean, they're just terrible. I mean, I watched 3 of their games last week. They had the lead going into the 7th inning in every one of them, and their bullpen blew all 3 of the games. And I just can't believe it.
I mean, Jose Altuve is one of the best hitters in the league right now.
I mean, he's having a crazy good year. Yeah. And so is Yordan Alvarez, even though his average might not be as high as it usually is. He's still hitting his home runs.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna turn around a little bit. So the AL just got the White Sox who are the worst team in baseball. I mean, there's not even an argument there.
Told you.
I mean, it's terrible. So that's why I think you're gonna see a lot more wins. You're gonna see a lot more wins in the NL.
Yeah, and it's funny that we talk about. I agree. I do agree with you that I don't think the NL Central is very powerful. You talk 3 years from now, I think this could be one of the best divisions in baseball.
Yeah,
Cubs got a lot of young players. The Brewers, even though I don't think they're very good, they do have some young players. Churio, he's struggling now. Give him a couple of years. Reds are self-explanatory. Pittsburgh, I'll tell you what, when they call it Paul Skeens, I mean that's just going to be an unbelievable pitching in their rotation. And the Cardinals, even though they do have a lot of young players, you look at their lineup outside of Arenado and Goldschmidt, it's a lot of young players. They just need them to stay healthy. They can't stay healthy. But it's a young division, and I think that's why you see so much inconsistency right now from them. Yeah. You look at Milwaukee. They get out to that hot start. Their prospect, who they signed to a 10-year, $80 million deal, who's never played baseball, is hitting $190. Yeah. He's just not ready. He's 20 years old. So it'll fizzle out, and we'll see. I don't think I have anything else for baseball. You guys?
No.
Okay.
The Battlehawks absolutely blew out the Defenders this week. Great game. It's hard to say that the Battlehawks don't have the best offense in the entire league right now. They're putting up 30-plus points a game.
Yep.
First game was a little shaky, but they've obviously found their groove. If they're passing the ball every play, AJ McCarron is the best quarterback in the league, and I mean, we also have the best receiving core in the league, so it's hard to stop our offense right now.
Yeah.
It's fun to be able to root for a team that's offensive-oriented when I've been a Bears fan my whole life.
Yeah.
It's never been that way. So, and we beat the DC Defenders, which is a team that we really couldn't get over the hump there for a while.
No.
So, I mean, it was a huge blowout win for us.
Do you think they are the best team right now?
I don't even think it's close. I think that they're easily the best team.
Okay, because I do not. I do
Okay.
not think they're the best team. I think the Birmingham Stallions are going to go undefeated and win. I just do not. They have their defense is unbelievable, and they're scoring points at a decent rate. I just don't see anyone.
I just think that we have 6 playmakers on the team at all
Yeah.
times on offense. That it can't be stopped. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
I mean, we're going to find out. They
Yeah.
play each other. I don't believe this week, but I believe next week.
Yep.
But we're going to find out. But I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Trust me. But I know 5 to 7 names of true NFL players on that team in
Yeah.
Birmingham. Outside of AJ McCarron, we don't have a true NFL player. So
Yeah, been working on getting a special guest from the Battlehawks.
yep.
He said he'll do it, and now he's kind of ghosting me. So, still trying.
Getting left on
Hopefully, he
red.
comes on. That'd be huge for us.
Yeah.
So, keep looking out for that podcast.
Yep. We would post before that.
Yeah.
We would make an announcement. We were going to have him on.
Yeah.
I think that's going to take it to our miscellaneous. We don't have anything else. So that's going to do my lock of the week, and I got to pull it up. Been on a hit or miss for betting the last week or so. A couple big bets. I don't know, Roy, if you saw. I don't think I sent it to you. One day there was 3 NBA playoff games and 4 NHL playoff games. I did a 7-pick parlay, picked the winners for all, hit it. $10, paid like $4.50. So that was a nice one.
Nice.
Yeah, but outside of that, haven't been too good. We're gonna stick in MLB, and I don't know if I'm gonna love it because I tried to make a bet yesterday and I did not like them. All right, the Rays at noon. This will not be out yet. I need to go into Wednesday night. The Cubs are gonna start Shota Imanaga. They're hurt though. I don't know if I love it. I will go Rangers money line over the Nationals. I do like that. Ooh, that's tough. Do I think that the Astros with Verlander on the mound will get a win over the Guardians?
I mean, he went 7 innings there, and that's one game I was watching, and
Yeah.
he did a great job, and then they gave up in the 8th and 9th. So
Yep. The other, you're not gonna like this one, Roy. That guy just texted me, by the way. The guy I made the trade to is typing, so he's gonna go. Thank God. I will also be doing Baltimore Orioles to beat the New York Yankees with Corbin Burns on the mound over Luis Hill. I can just see Luis Hill walk at 10 with those hitters. So that's going to be my lock. It's going to be a little short. I don't love the matchup this week. I noticed that yesterday as well.
Yeah.
I just don't. There's just a lot of even matchups this week, and I don't like betting if I know I'm going to 50-50. I'll bet $25. It pays $66.50. So I'll take that. Take that little winnings if it hits. That's my lock of the week.
All right, I got a new game style that I've found. There's not going to be any strikes on this one. It's going to be timer based. So you guys are going to have 1 minute to get 6 answers for this, working as a team. I will start the timer when I give you. So
we have 1 minute, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
You get 6 answers. It's about, so in the big 4 sports, football, basketball, hockey, and baseball, there is 6 teams that start with this letter. And as soon as I give you the letter,
Hold on.
I know. As soon as I give you the letter, I'll start the timer.
Okay. When you say the letter?
The name of the team, not the city.
So I'll use an example. Mariners, not
Yes.
Seattle Mariners.
Yes.
Okay.
That start with one letter. You said there's 6?
Yes.
I want to write 6 teams. Okay. Roy, before we start, tell me 2 of the leagues you feel the most confident in, that you can, in your brain, get their team names. Is it baseball and football?
Baseball, football. I can get NBA teams.
Okay. I will
Hockey's
try.
always gonna kill me.
I will try my best to concentrate in the hockey world and NBA world.
I mean, I'll try
We
I'll try on
can do
hockey,
both.
but
Okay. Just when he says the letter, I'm going to the NHL. Now,
Okay.
I'm not an NHL expert, so I might miss one, but that's what we're going to try.
I almost want to shorten the timers. I think you guys can crush this. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yes.
The letter is M.
Mariners, Mets,
There's 2.
Mavericks,
There's 3.
Magics.
The Magic is 4. You have 2 left.
I can't think of any hockey, Roy, and I know there's got to be one.
Maple Leafs, hockey.
Yes,
Maple
that's
Leafs is
yeah.
5. You have 1 team you're missing. At 10 seconds, I'll give you the sport.
Marlins.
Marlins. 26
Whoa!
seconds left.
I was thinking. I was
get-
going through my NFL teams. It's so bad. I couldn't think of anyone for the name.
There wasn't an NFL team.
No,
It made it a little harder.
I kept thinking in my head that every time I go hockey, Montreal. No,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
kept doing it, and I could not think of hockey teams.
That's the one I
Well-
thought you would have some issues with. And then whenever you were going through the example, you go Mariners. I'm like, well, there's one off the board. I might as well.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Well, I was just going through cities, thinking names, and then that just
Yeah.
Maple
Yeah.
Leafs just hit because I was thinking of Toronto area, and all of a sudden it just hit my head.
I didn't think you were naming teams, and I was like, I cannot concentrate. I keep saying the fucking Montreal Canadiens.
I was hoping the Magic or Mariners would slip one of your minds, or
the Magic
or,
is a good one. I
Magic-
don't know if I would
Magic or Mavericks. I was hoping one of them would slip your mind.
Yeah.
We don't talk about NBA very much.
No, but you got to think I got a lot of wisdom with that stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Big
Let's go.
NBA fan. So
Yeah, me too. Back in the day.
All right,
Easy
so
money.
I got 2 players, baseball players that you guys have got to. I think I've done one before, and that's why it bothers me. So here's the first one. This guy played from 1992 to 2008. Played with a lot of teams. All right, you ready? Played with the Blue Jays. Start with the Blue Jays. Then we played for the Mets, the Indians, the Giants, the Astros, and then finished with the Dodgers. He won a World Series with the Giants, though. Who is he?
Position.
Second base. I'll give you the position.
I could just use infield. Second base. Can you say the team names again?
Started with the Blue Jays.
Yep.
Went with the Mets, Indians, Giants, Astros, Dodgers.
I have no clue.
I don't have a guess either.
I have a guess. I know it's not right, but I have a guess.
I don't even have a guess. So you can go ahead.
Try and just think. I know it's not right. My first guess is Roberto Alomar.
Nope, not Roberto Alomar.
Yeah, that's the only one I can. That's the only one.
I don't even have an idea.
In base.
You know, it's 7.
Not
when
Craig
these guys retired.
Biggio. He spent too much time in
He was
Astros.
a catcher too, wasn't
Yeah, but he was really a second baseman. I don't know. I don't. I don't even have a guess.
All right, Jeff Kent.
I've heard that name. I thought Jeff Kent played for the Yankees.
No, Jeff Kent never played for the Yankees.
I-
All right, my second one's a pitcher. All right, this one's pretty tough too.
Oh, great! If that one wasn't hard.
This one's from 1998 to 2012.
Well, I have a better chance of this one then.
He started with the Expos.
Okay,
Then
Nationals.
pitched for the Nationals now. So then pitched for the Marlins, the Yankees, the Indians, and the Twins.
I think I was thinking of he played later. Ooh.
I
Say
give
that
you-
again. What was his first team?
The Expos and then the Marlins.
No. I
And
don't
then
think he
the-
played for the Expos.
And then the Yankees signed him. And then he finally they let him go. And then the Indians and the Twins. Bryce
I
probably
have
won't
no
get
idea.
it. Josh might have an idea if he just thought about maybe the one of the worst signings the Yankees have ever done.
Well, I know the worst Yankee signing of all time. It's not him. So, say the team names again.
Expos, Marlins, Yankees, Indians,
So we got him.
Twins.
Signed him after the Marlins.
Yeah. He won a World Series with the Marlins.
Oh, that fits what the name I had. The problem is I thought he started on the Marlins. I have one guess.
Who?
Dontrell Willis.
No.
Damn it. I don't know then.
Dontrell Willis wasn't a Yankee.
I didn't know. I just knew he was a
Met.
Marlin. And then when you said he won a World Series, I thought maybe it was the years lined up.
No.
Who is it?
Carl Provano.
I have never heard
I've
that
never
name in my
heard that.
Never
entire
heard of
life,
that guy?
bro. Never.
Yankees
No.
signed him, and he only pitched like 30 games. Signed him to this huge-ass contract, and he pitched a grand total of like 30 games.
I have never heard that name in my
never heard that
life.
name.
Really?
That's probably why he's pitched 30 games for the Yankees.
Yeah.
No.
He was great with the Marlins. They won in 03.
Yeah. I knew the year you were talking about.
That was
Okay.
it. That was the only. I
Those
was
were
going
hard.
to
Those were hard.
Yeah.
I've heard of Jeff Kent, never knew anything about him. I've never heard that name before.
I'd done Alfonso Soriano, right? Did I
Yeah.
do that already?
Yeah, I think so.
When you were doing Cubs and Yankees.
That's right. I thought I did. I was going to do him. I was like, I think I've already done him. So
I probably would have
Right.
got him.
I'll
All right,
get
I
some
don't think I
easier
have
next
anything.
time.
All right, I think that's going to do it. Appreciate the support. Hit the like, subscribe, comment. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Peace
All right.
out.
Peace.
Gotta find my way to you, even though you're next to